14 years ago today, someone set fire to one of Asheville's most historic homes.
News 13's Victoria Dunkle is streaming live from the Thomas Wolfe House in Asheville. And Victoria, this is still an unsolved mystery.
Absolutely. 14 years later, and they don't know who started a fire here. And this fire did an extreme amount of damage. I mean, pretty much every aspect of this beautiful home had some sort of impact from the fire. Now, Chris Morton was here the night the fire started. And you say it started right here. Where are we in the home at this point?
This is the dining room of the house.
Okay.
Today it is a reconstruction of that original dining room. It is the only room in the house that does not contain the original furnishings.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the fire, because they're showing video right now of the night of the fire. Incredible flames coming from the home. Mm-hmm. Were you the one who discovered the fire?
No.
Okay. How was it discovered and what happened?
Well, there were several phone calls that came in, some from employees at the nearby Renaissance Hotel, which was then the Radisson Hotel, and other passersby. The phone calls came in around 3 o'clock in the morning. That was reported, of course, to the Asheville Fire Department, who eventually relayed that to the then site manager, Steve Hill. Mm-hmm. And Steve called me about 3:15, 3:20 that morning, and told us to get downtown.
Let's come back out here and talk about it. What was it like when you walked in onto the property and you saw the fire trucks, the crews here? What were your first thoughts about this home that you cared for?
Oh, well,
I mean, this was your job to, this was your baby, so to speak.
Exactly. Yeah, well, collectively, we all shared that sort of that feeling that this was our responsibility. But when you stand here and you see the flames gushing from the roof, it's almost like witnessing a family member who's in crisis, but you can't do anything about it. I mean, we couldn't get in. The firefighters were battling the blaze. There wasn't a lot of certainty as to whether or not they would be successful at that time in saving.
But they were successful in getting this fire out. Coming up in our next step hour, we're going to talk about how much you were able to salvage and what a beautiful restoration effort has been taking place in those 14 years. If you happen to remember anything from that night, though, or you know someone who did, this is an open investigation, and you can always call Crime Stoppers with your tips. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkle, News 13.
The work of an arsonist nearly destroyed an Asheville landmark.
Now, exactly 14 years later, the Thomas Wolfe House fire is still unsolved. But News 13's Victoria Dunkle is streaming live with a look at the work it took to save this treasure. Vic?
It is an amazing house. If you visited it, it just speaks. It comes to life and shares the story of Thomas Wolfe and his family. The fire started right here in the dining room of the home. We have the video from that night 14 years ago. It was on the eve of Belshare. The fire started, and we were dealing with a situation that nearly destroyed this incredible home. And we were talking about it as we've been walking through the home this morning and understanding what it took to bring this back to life. I've been talking to Chris Morton, and back out here we're in front of the mantelpiece. Now, you were telling me, because the fire was centrally located here, everything in this room had to be replicated. There was nothing you could salvage.
No, there was very little that was salvageable.
But this here is as close to the original as we could get, isn't it?
Right. The original mantle was a chestnut mantle. Actually, it had multiple materials, but primarily it was made of chestnut. It was destroyed, and so we took what remained of the original mantle, created measured drawings from that, used photographs, and we had some fairly detailed photographs of the original mantle. And then we were able to use that in order to replicate it. One of our furniture craftsmen, George Nader, actually replicated this mantle. It was funded by the Vetusta Study Club.
And this clock here, is this?
The clock is an original, but not to the dining room. Right, exactly. It was donated to the site sometime after the fire. The original clock and.
This is all that's left of it?
This was the original clock. The working part's in the face, and that's all that remains of the original clock.
This is incredible, but it's the love of the author and his family that helped preserve this, and the home is restored and beautifully open for us to come and check it out. And Monday through Friday, right?
It's Tuesday through Sunday.
Tuesday through Sunday. Got to get those hours right. And also, coming up, we're going to find out about some of the changes that are taking place in order to keep the home as lovely and as open and available to all of us to enjoy this piece of history. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkle, News 13.
14 years ago today, an arsonist set fire to the Thomas Wolfe House. News 13's Victoria Dunkle is streaming live from the home in Asheville this morning.
And Victoria, you say you uncovered a positive side to the fire. What are you talking about?
Well, if you can find a positive side to it, you know, out of the ashes can sometimes come beauty. We're right now about one story up from where the fire started. The dining room is right below us here. We're in one of the bedrooms on the second floor of the home. And the fire did extensive damage to this area, and it also did pretty much damage in one way or the other, be it fire damage, water or smoke damage to every aspect of this home. But the salvage work began almost immediately. We have video of the crews and the workers here trying to pull out whatever they could find, holding on to the pieces of history that were tied so closely to the author's life and his childhood. And back out here in this room, we're back with Chris Morton, and you were here. You got the call saying something's wrong, you got to get to the house early in the morning on the 24th, and talk about what was uncovered because of the intense heat of the fire here. This bed, specifically, this bedroom's furniture here.
Okay. This was what we refer to as the Woodfin Street bed. It was actually Mrs. Wolfe's bedroom suite that furnished her upstairs room in the family home on Woodfin Street. It was located in this room the night of the fire. At the time of the fire, it was painted a solid gray color. Now, we knew that was not the original color of the bed, but conservators at the Biltmore Estate were able to slowly remove the blistered paint and finishes to reveal the original paint scheme of the bed.
And on the side of that dresser, I don't know if you can get that, John, or not, but there are still some marks from the singes, from the ashes that were landing on it, and the beams that were burning up against this. This is just part of the restoration effort. You all worked very hard. The home was closed for many years. Memorial Day 2004,
right?
You reopened.
Exactly.
How hard was the effort to get the home back to where it belonged?
It was a lot of work on the part of a lot of individuals and groups of people, conservators, those who helped in raising funds to restore the house. But it was a priority of the Department of Cultural Resources, and so, you know, for 6 years we labored to make sure that it was restored, but that it was also restored accurately.
And that shows. Anytime you come for a visit here, you can feel the history. It comes to life for you. And coming up in our next half hour, we're going to see what the future holds for this incredible piece of literary and Asheville history. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkle, News 13.
14 years ago today, someone set fire to the Thomas Wolfe House here in Asheville. News 13's Victoria Dunkle is streaming live from the house.
And Victoria, does the staff there spend a lot of time dwelling on the fact that the arson is not solved?
You know, that is always kind of in the back of their mind, but it's not what they're focusing on, and as they're looking toward the future. They would love to see this mystery solved, absolutely, because the fire started on the eve of Belshare in 1998. On July 24th, someone we have video of this, it's incredible, they threw an incendiary device into the dining room, and the flames were just amazing. But it took 6 years of hard work to restore the home and salvage what they could. And now we're out here on the porch talking to Christian Edwards, and this is where you are the new site manager here, and this is where some of the future is taking place. What does the future hold for the Thomas Wolfe home?
We have a lot of fun in our future. We have a lot of activities that we're always planning and changing. Currently, this summer, we have writing camps for students of all ages. We have a Pickin' on the Porch series where we invite local musicians to perform here on the front porch for free for our audience. Our next Pickin' on the Porch will actually be next Friday, where we have the Buddy Guy Trio coming to perform here on the front porch, and we encourage everyone to come down, bring a lunch, and just enjoy this beautiful front porch, and it is the best seat in town.
It really is. What do you still have people coming to you as they take the tour, wanting to know what you know about the fire, what your feelings are about it? Because, I mean, this person attacked a home that is very near and dear to the staff here.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes we do get the visitors that come in that are interested in the fire, and it is part of our history. It's a big part of our history now. But for the most part, our visitors come in wanting to know the history of Thomas Wolfe.
Like, was he a stinker stealing cookies from Mom in the kitchen and things like that?
Absolutely.
Was he?
Oh, of course. What kid wasn't?
What are some of your popular stories that you love to share about the author?
Well, let me think. I always like to share the stories of Tom as a kid, because he was a kid here in the house. He lived here from the age of 6 till 16, and I think my favorite story is the fact that his mom never cut his curls. She wanted her baby as long as possible. All the other kids would pick on him in school, so he finally tricked a boy in one of his classes to give him head lice. Now, it's a bit drastic, but it worked. His mom finally cut those curls.
Extreme measures. Well, this is an incredible place to come and visit, and it's amazing to see all of the hard work, 6 years of hard work to bring this back to the beauty we see today. Now, again, the mystery is unsolved. The case is open, and if you know something or remember something from 14 years ago, you can always call Crime Stoppers. Your information may be the key to solving the mystery here. But until then, come on out and enjoy a seat on the veranda here. The porch is always so welcoming. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkle, News 13.